back, bunghole sniffers. It's Bourbon and More Bourbon. I'm your host, Hunter, from Tampa Bay, Florida, and today we have an exciting treat for you. The One of the most anticipated releases of 2026. Um, the oldest expression from the Heritage Collection from Heaven Hill, the Heaven Hill Heritage Collection 22 year. Say that 5 times fast. Um, this is the first of the Heritage Collection that I have owned, and I've actually never tried any of the other Heritage Collections. I do have the 90th anniversary from last year, but the Heritage Collection version was the 19 year, which was actually 19-year-old Bernheim weeded mash bill. They also put out a 27-year-old Heaven Hill back in like 2018, and that's the oldest release they've ever done. So this is not the oldest expression from Heaven Hill across their lineups. It is just the oldest in this lineup, because I do believe they have a Evan Williams 23 year, and they just came out with the Elijah Craig 21 year, which is 1 year younger than this. And this kind of falls right in between those, but it is exciting because it's the oldest in this line, and supposedly, from what I've heard, they may be not doing this line any longer. That's just a rumor. Don't know if it's true. Hope it isn't. Um, and before they came out with the Heritage Collection line, they have the William Heaven Hill line, which is distillery only exclusives. Um, those are really cool. I really wish I could get the 18 year from last year, but they're going on like $2,000 on secondary right now. So, this is probably the closest thing I can get to that. Um, and the Parker's Heritage Collection are kind of all over the place. They're a little more experimental line, but they have done some really cool older stuff from Heaven Hill's lineup. Um, like last year, they did an 11-year American, um, which was like a blend of different whiskeys. Like I think there's a weeded whiskey and then American light whiskey in there. I didn't really like it. So for $300, if you're buying a Parker's, I think, or 250 or whatever they are, 225, it's got to be worth that. And I don't think last year's Parker's was very good. The Heaven Hill 90th, I think, blew it away, and that's only 9 years old. We'll compare this on another video. Today it's only about the 22 year, and I wanted to show off. I think this is all the Heaven Hill products I have that are not sourced. That can also fit on the shelf because a lot of bottles are tall and they don't fit up there. But I've got several Elijah Craigs. I've got one of the Ryes that came out last year. I've got an old Fitzgerald. We did that in a video against the Maker's Mark Cellar Age. I'll do a video of older, probably versus new Elijah Craigs at some point. And if I ever get a 21 year or something else, maybe we can do that against the EC18 or Heaven Hill 22 against the EC18 if you'd like to see that. I think they're kind of night and day. Um, Other than that, this release is was distilled in 2000 and blah blah blah. Um, the Heaven Hill 22 year was distilled in 2003, I believe, at the old Bernheim distillery. It's like some of their last distillate before they switched to Heaven Hill's current distillery. Aged on 5th and 6th floors of Warehouse Y in the main Bardstown campus at Heaven Hill. They did a yield of 275 barrels, and this is 129.2 proof, unchill filtered, or 64.6% ABV. This is the standard Heaven Hill Elijah Craig Henry McKenna, Evan Williams mash bill, 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. Just like the Heaven Hill 17 and the 18 year were the same mash bill, but I think they did different warehouses. 17, I think, was Elijah Craig, and 18 was more like the Henry McKenna. It's kind of funny that most people would say the 17 has been their favorite across this lineup, maybe until the 22 year. The 17 was the Elijah Craig one. I heard really good things about the 18, and the 19 I heard was okay. Um, the 20 year was the other older release before this one. Last year was 19, and then the 20 year was the year before that, to make you super confused. But it was a completely different mash bill. They used the mellow corn mash bill for the 20 year, which I think is 99% corn, 1% some malted barley or wheat. Could be 100% corn. I don't remember. But I'm not interested in that one. Even though it has a high age statement, I heard it doesn't even taste as good as like most 10-year-old bourbons because of the mash bill. It's just, um, not something I'm worth, I think is worth spending, upwards of three, four, or $500 on, because you're not going to find one under that. I think most of these MSRP'd over the years. They came out with the 17 and um, or the series started in 2022 when they came out with the 17, and I think the MSRP has pretty much stayed the same. I think it was like 300. This year's the 22 year is $319, which is really not bad for you know them doing the same line for 4 years, and the age has gone up significantly. Tried this at a bar um, when it first kind of released, right before I found mine, about April. So like a week after trying it at a bar, I found one, which is amazing because this was like one of the best things I've ever tried. Spoiler alert. It still is, and I tried some really cool stuff. Even yesterday, went to Bottle Share, tried old fashioned copper and some like old Commonwealth stuff, and we brought out my Eagle Rare 17, and I tried an old Orphan barrel, like 20 year or something. We tried some like a lot of Willets and Brook Hills, and still, um, nothing has really come close to. I think the Heaven Hill 22 year. This is probably going to be one of my highest rated bottles on this channel, but we will see. I think that's about all the stats. I do know on secondary this is going like it was going for like $1,000, and then it's slowly gone back down and gone back up and gone back down. I think it's kind of equalized at somewhere between like $700 and $900 on secondary. So if you try to buy one directly from some store online, it's probably gonna be a secondary price. Um, it will probably not be under $600 right now anywhere you find it, unless you get really lucky like I did. I paid 100 over MSRP. I paid 420 or 430, and I think that is it's not excellent, but it is totally fair. I think that's definitely for this kind of release, because if this does become the last of this series, I think the price on secondary is going to skyrocket in the next couple years. If there's any of these left, I think they'll go over 1,000, maybe even close to 2,000 on secondary. Especially if more reviews come out. I don't think Breaking Bourbon has done one yet, but if this gets close to 5 stars in Breaking Bourbon and they stop this series, these are going to go freaking nuts. Um, so without further ado, I've got a lot of other Heaven Hill products. We'll do maybe a full Heaven Hill backstory at some point. I know I've talked a little bit about them in some other videos, so today we're just mainly getting into the bottle. Um, so before I sniff and taste it, I just want to show you how beautiful this packaging is. So it does come in this nice cardboard box, which opens up, um, and this bottle is held nicely in place. And there's nothing on the back. Heaven Hill Distillery on the top. It says the release year 2006, and then it's kind of a pain in the ass to pull out. And you can see how dark that liquid is. It's got a little reddish hue. Some of the labels on like the 90th are kind of cream colored. This one and I think the 17 are dark blue. Maybe the 19 too, and I think the 18 has the cream color. So they kind of bounce back and forth. So if you want to collect them all, then you kind of get kind of a cool thing going with all these labels. But man, this is such a beautiful bottle. I'm sad that I didn't get the Wild Turkey Cheesy Gold Foil, and there's probably a few other things I haven't gotten yet this year. But I think after trying this, this was my main unicorn for 2026, and maybe of all time. So super excited to come back to this. It's been a couple months since I've tried this. I've had this sitting out for about 15 minutes to just open up a little bit. So without further ado, for the 15th time, let's get into the glass. Oh my God, it is so rich. That is the most cherry cola I think I've gotten on anything ever. There's a good amount of spice and a little bit of ethanol, but it's not like it's because of the proof. It's not because it's gonna be bad. It's just it's gonna be a ride. And the first time I tried this was at a cigar bar, so maybe my palate was a little screwed up at the time because you get all the smoke and whatnot, and the bottle's been open a while. So this is a fresh crack. This is what we call a neck pour. So the longer the bottle kind of sits on your shelf, it's going to get a little air to it. It's going to open up a little bit. That kind of heat's going to go away. Hopefully, the legs on this, the oiliness on the glass is insane. It's clinging. This is like motor oil. This is such a dark color too. Like I said, orange, red, dark brown. So like a chestnut or like a rich mahogany color. There's definitely some hot cinnamon and some nutmeg and a creaminess that I'm trying to pick out. It's like a custard or like a flan. There might be a little bit of orange oil or like a burnt orange. It's so sweet, and I'm not getting too much oak on this. It's just so rich and so fruity and so sweet. Yeah. All right, we got to try this. I'm so excited. I've been waiting a couple months to open this and was looking for the right time, and I think, you know, you never know if there's going to be tomorrow. Just open and enjoy what you got today. If you can enjoy it with good people, do that. But, tomorrow's not guaranteed. And that's what I'm telling myself, at least, so that I can crack this open and enjoy it, because it is hard to have something like this for a long time without being tempted to crack it. Okay, first pour of the day. This might have been a mistake. This is. Uh, I should have warmed up to that proof. I'm not a rookie. I should have known better, but it's not too much. But man, is it? I was unprepared uh for that. God dang. From the last time I tried this, it's very similar. All those flavors transfer to the palate, but now I'm picking up the oak, and it is just a punch in the face. There is so much flavor. There's so much going on. There's so much spice. There is a lot of oak. It is not over oaked. Usually, when you get past 15 years, depending on the distillery and what they do to the juice or the barrels, everything about what they do can really affect, is it going to be over oaked? Is it going to get better the longer they age it? Is it going to get worse? Um, because this is barrel strength, because this is Heaven Hill, because this is Elijah Craig juice, and because they did not water this down, you know, this is gotten better. I think this can go on longer. I think they could age this a couple more years. But I think for what this is, oh my God, kind of don't want them to, because this is almost freaking perfect. It's starting to open up a little bit more. I'm glad I let it sit, but now it's just, I'm getting more nuttiness. I'm getting that like feel like I'm there. I'm in Kentucky. I'm in the Rick House. I'm smelling the angel share that's evaporating out of the barrels. I'm um getting some whiskey dripped on my head from above me. Uh, the dustiness, the dankness, the wet wood, all those smells, all those good old smells. Yeah, this has that funky old rickhouse thing you don't get on a lot of stuff. Um, you get this on the most excellent bourbons and ryes. So this is a quality that I push automatically into the nines. So we're looking at a 90 to 99 out of 100, somewhere in that range. The only thing I can do is spend a little bit more time with it, and then we can narrow it down. But I've got a very high score ready for this. This time swishing around my mouth some more, getting a little bit more the bitter tannic notes. But it is not like wet cardboard. It is just in the middle, and it's on the tip of my tongue. Everything else around my mouth is just like creme brulee, brown sugar, molasses, cola, cherry cola, or Dr. Pepper, which is just a spicy cherry cola. You can't tell me different. I'm not getting any sharp banana on this. Still trying to figure out what that means. Um, That's a new note. I'm getting some cream soda on that.
Hey everybody, it's Hunter from Bourbon More Bourbon. We had some technical difficulties during our Heaven Hell 22 video, and about 25% of the video got cut. The sound just went completely off. I think my microphone died, which sucks. I've been recharging them pretty often, but really, I feel like we didn't miss much. We don't have to completely refilm the video. I was just rambling on about other stuff, totally unrelated to the bottle we were reviewing. I did not give a score before the sound cut out, so I just wanted to give a quick. It was a 96 out of 100. It was fantastic, spectacular. Top 3 best pours I've ever had. And I leave a little room because I know there's some stuff out there that's older and better and rarer that I may never get my hands on. But hopefully I do, and we can find that 100 out of 100. And maybe something in the future comes out that's even better. There's still stuff from this year I haven't tried. I haven't tried the Cheesy Gold Foil. I haven't tried the Four Roses Anthology 21 year. So we'll see. So 96 out of 100. Highest score so far on the channel. Please remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Check us out on TikTok and Instagram, and until next time.